Hi, guys. Welcome to Weekly Travel Updates. I'm Melinda Fargus, and I own Action Travel of North Carolina. And there has been a heck of a day in the East Coast. Oh, my goodness. Hurricane Debbie, whoo! She came with a vengeance this morning. And then I've got to tell you about what's going on in the Middle East and the ramifications we might be looking at there. Then today, the stock market just kind of crashed. It's the worst day in the last, second worst day in the last 2 decades. That's kind of scary. All of the cruise stocks are down. I'll share that with you. And then I'm going to tell you about cruise passengers who were struck by lightning while they were in port in St. Martin. Now, no fatalities yet, but critical condition. And then I will give you an update on our story on the Nealons and the Kistler loss from the plane crash on the 26th of July. And finally, I'm going to share with you our cruise group, and we are leaving on January 1st. We're not going to leave until 12:30. So go have a big time on New Year's, and you can still meet the flight by 12:30. Come on. We'll be there. All right, it's 9 days. We're going to the Southern Caribbean. We will sail from Fort Lauderdale on the Celebrity Escape and Celebrity Eclipse. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, it's a beautiful ship, and you can have it all in beverages, Wi-Fi, short excursions, credit in the dining room, and let's see, and all of your cruise, and it totals $4,038 for two people for 9 days in peak season. Okay, let's go to the news today because golly, Debbie really has plummeted Florida. Sarasota's underwater, and Savannah, they have curfews tonight. In Charleston, there is already power outages. In Florida, 200,000 people are without power. And man, it's just raising havoc. Hang on one second. Where is my other note? Uh-oh. Love fell down. You know that we have to have love. In this world right now, love is the most important thing. With love comes prayer for people too. So hold them up in prayer. It's really super important. Okay. So Debbie has been declared as the possibility of a 1,000-year flood. People in Savannah, and I listened to 2 broadcasts that were Savannah local news. They really anticipate this. I watched footage just 10 minutes ago. That's why I was late. I was still tweaking last minute things, but I watched news just 10 minutes ago, and the whitecaps that are coming into the Charleston harbor, like where the ship leaves from, is really causing residents concern. And not that Charleston or Savannah, anywhere along the East Coast, is not used to hurricanes. They are. And that's what they tell people. But this time, in a way, is saying it is not just a hurricane. It's not just a tropical storm. It is dumping bucket loads of rain. 5 feet in some areas where it has pooled. Gracious. Can't get around. Good night. Thank you, Terry. I just cannot imagine. And what it's done to the air system. You know where it's headed. It's going inland. Flights have been canceled over 7,500 flights have been canceled or delayed today. One of the reasons that I wanted to go private and quit dealing with John Q. Public is for examples just like this. A day where ordinarily we may have, I don't know, 5 or 6 groups of people traveling during this time period, and we do, but they're all there. There's nobody flying, nobody getting on a ship that immediately. The ships that are out, guys, they will go around the storm. In 2019, on our very first professional development journeys trip, the trips that I host and sponsor, where you can write it off of your taxes. Well, you have to ask your tax man. My tax man says you can write it off of your taxes if you participate in 8 hours worth of education with us. So this was our very first one. Oh, it was going to be so cool. We had a motor coach. We had a bus full of people headed to Charleston. I have to tell you, people thought we were crazy for going because the storm was already in Florida, headed to Charleston. So we called Carnival Cruise Line and they said, if you get to Charleston, the ship is going to leave on time. The ship will not put the passengers nor our ship in harm's way. So sure enough, we get on the ship, they head out. Do you know, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, all got plummeted and we were in sunshine. We literally went out and followed the track of the storm by a day. So the storm was headed north. We went out and south. We went to the Bahamas. It was a short cruise. What can I say? That was our only choice. We went to the Bahamas and literally we had fabulous weather. But it was a time here that was catastrophic. Huge rains then. What? Okay, love, I know you want lots of attention tonight. What is most concerning is we are used to hurricanes. They come through, they cause a lot of disaster and go away. This storm's not going to be like that. It is going to sit over Florida and churn and dump water and dump water and dump water. And that's what everybody, all of the predictions that I have heard today, and I've been online almost all day, it looks like plan for the worst. Even here in central North Carolina, the line goes, okay, let's say this is Florida. It came into the Gulf side. It has crossed Florida. It is strengthening. It is getting ready to, on Thursday, come into potentially Myrtle Beach, the beach. Myrtle Beach. And it may come in again as a category 1. We got lots of friends with homes down there. People even from our church. And it is scary to think that it's going to get hit hard because we've been down there when there's just been high tides and heavy rains, and it floods then. So I cannot imagine. Be in prayer for Florida. What they're really concerned about is the king tide that would come this evening. It could reflood everything. So we are really, really concerned about that. War in Israel. So this big dome is there. It's supposed to protect them, but at a retaliation for killing the second in command from Hezbollah, they are saying you will pay. And it's kind of in a waiting period at the moment that they're waiting for Iran to attack. The U.S. State Department has said, if you're in Lebanon, all the embassy people are gone. It said, get a flight the best way you can. get out of there. Today. That was today. But the massive attack on Israel is what they fear. It's what I fear. It means that the U.S. would get involved. We already have a carrier in the south part of the Mediterranean, close enough to be assistance in Israel. We put it there just 2 days ago. Meanwhile, Russia is bringing their military ships, and there are 2 new Russian battleships in Cuba. I don't like that either. But that's what's going on. Okay. It could be as disastrous as what Bangladesh is going through. All right, their prime minister resigned, left. The country is in full turmoil. They're burning cars, they're burning buses, they're looting stores. The young people are in the streets saying, we are not going to be ruled by a mafia government. I honestly don't know enough about Bangladesh to tell you an opinion other than it's an area that we'll now stay away from. It's not a place that a lot of people go anyway, but there are connections. So it's just more confusion and chaos that's out there for world travelers. And I've got travelers going and doing an extensive European trip next month. We've been planning it. It's almost, it's 27 days. And with the inclusions that we can include, it is a very good deal. People are traveling. Every flight is full. Cruise ships. The Prima leaving out of Iceland on the 5th of September. I wanted to upgrade my traveler. There is nothing more to upgrade. The ship is completely full. It's good for a new ship. We still made bids on some of them. All right. Then, did you know, I read today that Greece has started a helicopter service to island hop. One of the biggest challenges when I send families over is, dang, are we going to do a ferry? Well, the ferry's going to take us 4 hours. Or if we fly from point to point, sometimes you have to go all the way back to Athens to get to another island. This helicopter has an average 45 minutes between islands. That's going to mean Mykonos to Santorini, 45 minutes. Santorini to Crete, probably a little more than 45 minutes, but they're doing helicopters. I think that this is going to be a game changer for Greece, because the logistics of doing several islands that you really do want to do, you don't want to go over there and just go to one. You're going to end up going to others, whether it's by boat or tour. This is really just going to ease the logistics of travel there. Then, oh my goodness, in St. Petersburg, St. Martin, in the port, there's a long boardwalk. It's a beautiful boardwalk right next to the ocean. There was a storm this weekend, and there were people in the water and walking on the boardwalk. 2 of the cruise passengers were walking on the boardwalk with an umbrella. It struck the boardwalk. 5 people were struck by lightning. 2 were released on the scene. Not that much. They had burns, but they didn't have to go to the hospital. The other 3 are in critical condition. Guys, it's summertime. Stay out of the water if you hear thunder. And gracious, in a lightning storm, you just shouldn't be close to any water. All right. Well, I'm going to update a story on 2 guys that stole $100,000 off of an MSC ship. Before the ship ever took off, two guys, they have kids, but I didn't read their ages, but they're old enough to have families. Two guys went into an Etsy shop, a jewelry store, on the MSC Virtuoso before the ship left and only 4 hours after they had gotten on the ship. They were wasted. They were trashed. They were so drunk. The video shows them. They go into the Etsy store. There's nobody around, but there's plenty of cameras. They wipe out 10 rings, necklaces, all kinds of stuff, $100,000 worth of jewelry. And naturally, once the staff came back in there and saw this missing, all they had to do was look at the security video. They found each of the guys, each one were in a different bar, still drinking. I told the story, and we were talking about they were taken off in handcuffs. The police arrived. They didn't even get to go on the cruise. They'd only been on the ship 4 hours. But what happened? One guy agreed and turned himself in. The other guy, and he turned back in 3 rings. The other guy was caught leaving for London, and he was at the airport, and he had the rest of the jewelry. They're both facing huge jail time now. Wow. Okay, I told you a little bit about, I was going to tell you, their sentence was 15 months, unsupervised, and suspended sentence. They got 272 hours of community service. And they got to walk away with that jewelry because they said that they sold most of it online. So basically 272 hours worth of community service for $100,000 worth of jewelry. Mom and I just watched Ocean's 8 the other night, and when I read this today, it really reminded me of that. Okay, I know I'm getting to the long point, but guys, today is the last day if you have interest in going with us on Celebrity Cruises Eclipse. Not that you can't go later, but today is the last day for our group to be guaranteed. If you do a balcony cabin out of Fort Lauderdale, it'll include the cruise, the port taxes, the gratuities, the beverages, the Wi-Fi, specialty dining, shore excursion credits. You get all of that, and it comes out to just over $2,000 a person. If you priced it online outside of our group, we're saving about $350 per person. So I would love to have you join us. We are celebrating Daryl Carter's 85th birthday. And if you've been around Action Travel, if you see a little older man, it's probably Daryl Carter, because this man travels all the time. I have put him on more than 70 cruises in the 34 years that Action Travel's been in business. And he was traveling before he met me. So it has been a blast, but we would love for you to check us out. If you have interest, you can hit me up. I put information, right down here. And I'd love to have you go with us. We need 2 more cabins. So that's where we're at. Guys, thank you. It's a little rushed. It just, when there's weather like this and people are calling us to say what it is, I'm getting updates from Myrtle Beach. It's just a whole lot going on. We don't have a lot of catastrophic things go on in Central North Carolina. So for us, this is big. Before I close, I will share an update to the horrific plane crash that took the lives of 7 of our friends on the 26th of July. Nathan and Amber Kistler's funeral is this Saturday, the 10th, at up in the mountains of North Carolina. I think Mom and I are going to go. If you know us well and you really want to go too, hit me up. I'm going to drive. Anyway, please continue to pray for them. Today is Dave Kistler's birthday. If I could ask you one favor, Dave Kistler lost his son, his daughter-in-law, his in-laws, and the organizer for the kneeling group, and the pilot and his wife. It was horrific. When I told you guys about it last week, I was emotionally, it was a hard thing to share. But right after I got off the phone, I started working with my customer who's doing this very long European trip, and he sent me a clip. And the headlines were, 2 minutes of terror as the plane came apart. So when I told you that, it was heartbreaking. But to then learn that they didn't die instantly like Dave originally thought, Dave Kistler, the father, they did a diagram, and the plane was at 30,000 feet. It lost 4,000 feet in a second. The plane went down and made a 360 circle and was entering a second 360 circle. Some say that he was trying to slow the plane down because it was going so fast, and it disintegrated. It fell apart. And what these reports say are that they were fully aware that they were crashing, and they endured it for almost 2 minutes. If that doesn't make you pray for this family, there's nothing else I can say. There's a whole lot on social media, on YouTube, for Amber Nealon Kistler, Kistler, and the Nealons. There's just no words. There's no words. And how hard would it be to celebrate your birthday today, less than a week from when your son's taken? Anyway, pray for them. I covet your prayers. While I'm on the subject of prayers, I would ask that you pray for my mom. We go for a biopsy on Wednesday morning. She's been having a lot of pain, and since I got back from Alaska, she had shingles, and that has pretty much healed. There's still little spots, but no blisters, but she's still getting a lot of pain. So we set up an appointment for an ultrasound and a mammogram, and something came back, and we're going to go early Wednesday morning and check it out. I really covet your prayers over my mom, because she is super special and the world to me. All right, guys, I'm going to check out. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. If you're not subscribed, please go subscribe. If I've told you this story before, I did everything wrong. I put everything on Facebook because I had lots of friends there. I didn't know you're supposed to go on YouTube. So please go to YouTube and subscribe to Weekly Travel Updates. I would so greatly appreciate it. All right. Ciao. I love you. I'm praying for all of my friends. The world is in a place that everybody has a need. we need to pray for each other. I love you. Thanks.